I was sitting here reading this morning and I thought that I would make a video. I couldn't get this idea off my head. The story starts, I get off work and I decide that I want to go get a little candy bar, right? Something that looks like this, right? Just a little Twix bar, little candy bar, whatever country you live in, just a little candy bar, right? And I was looking specifically for a bar called the Kinder Bueno bar. Now, you might like this bar. When I had it, it was okay. But I went all over town. So I went to a local kind of like pharmacy to see if they had it. They didn't have it. And there was a gas station across the street. And I didn't go to that one because I couldn't get to that because the roads were like messed up. So then I ended up driving backwards to another part of town to go to another convenience store. And they didn't have the bar either. How funny is that? So instead of, leaving it alone and getting the bar, I said, okay, I'm already here for something. And I had a little bit of commitment bias here. I was like, okay, I'm going to get something for my reward or something for me going here and everything like that. And when I decided to get the bar, I got a Kit Kat, I got a Twix bar, and I also got this Reese's bar. And then when I got home, I ate it. And I kind of regretted it because I spent almost an hour going around trying to find a chocolate candy bar. And when I really put into perspective, I went around town for sugar. I went around town for sugar. Now, this video is not going to be about sugar consumption and doing anything, because me, to be honest, I'm addicted to sugar. I'm still working on my addiction to sugar. I'm going to be completely honest with myself. I'm still working on it. This video is more so about your desires and why your desires need to be kept protected. We live in a society where we're constantly connected. We all know this with social media. We all know this with, and I'm going to name all the few, Instagram, we got Twitter, we have YouTube. And to me, the big culprits of this are the video companies. Like Twitter is not so much, but I would say things like Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So you may be thinking, you may use those apps, right? You may see something. What if you are into fitness, right? And you see the guy with the body. You see the guy with the nice body, or the girl with the nice bikini, and she's very like lean and skinny, right? You may think, oh yeah, like you might have this subconscious thought going on in your head, and you might say, okay, I want that too. So you start working for it, right? You see somebody like Kanye, or, see somebody like Jay-Z, or see somebody like Hermosi, or one of your favorite influencers, and you might think, okay, you might think you really want those shoes, but truthfully, the desire just came because you're influenced by these people. This is mimesis at its finest. This is the concept of peer pressure you probably learned while you were in school, if you still are in school, like me. Or it could just be simply you seeing somebody wear an outfit that you like. And you may think, oh, I want that because I want it. But the reason why you want it isn't because you want it. It's just because it's mimesis. And the thing about it is you need to protect your desires at all costs. So, actionable step right now, what I want you to do is take a piece of paper. It could be something like this. Just a little piece of paper that I have right here. Or a journal. And what I want you to do is write, what do you want? Now, this is not some stuff where it's like easy, because I haven't gone through the full process of sitting down for like a week on it and just being like, hey, what do I want? But maybe just make it a 5-minute activity that you do every single morning. You just ask yourself, what do you want? And really see how it shifts. I really want you to see and notice the differences, because one day You could want, oh, okay, I really want these shoes. Oh, okay, now today I want these tank tops. Oh, okay, now I want a candy bar. I'm disgusted by this. I went across town for sugar. And the reason why is because I was watching a YouTube video specifically on how to not be addicted to sugar. And I ended up doing the exact opposite of what the video told me to do. Because the guy in the video was talking and telling himself a story about how he did the same exact thing. And then all of a sudden I had a desire for candy and I didn't resist it. That's on me. Protect your desires. In the description, I will have a template that I'm going to walk through in this video. It is a template for how to make decisions. Now, I haven't used this a lot, but I've used it maybe 3 times, and it's significantly made my decisions clear, and it made me understand why I did it. So, sorry about that. The video just cut out, boys. But the 7 questions that are here on this, I had to write them down. There is number 1. What is the question or decision I'm making? Now, this whole thing can really be boiled down to just asking yourself really 2 or 3 questions, but I made it extensive so I could understand them. But to outline this, it is let me slow down. There is a few things that you can boil this down to. What question or decision are you trying to make? Where did you get that desire from to make that decision in the first place? And then really just think about, where'd you get it from? And then, is it a good desire? And then make the decision. But I'm boiling it down in the 7 thing, and you're going to get the template as well, so you'll have it. So number 1, what is the question or decision I'm making? So let's think about this as, what if I'm gonna do like a gym example. You want to get into the gym. The question is, should I start working out? Okay. Where did this thought or desire come from? Let's say it came from me. I told you to go to the gym and start working out, and you say, okay, I'm gonna go start working out now because I saw this. And now you want to go work out. Now, what is the dream result? You can say, okay, I want the physique. I want the physique of the guys I see on Instagram so I can get more likes on Tinder, or you think you're more likes on Instagram, or you want to be better looking. Fair enough. Now, what are the alternatives to achieve the same result? Now, there are a lot of alternatives. Let's say you don't have to go to the gym. One thing is you could work out at home. You don't have to go to the gym to work out. You could do CrossFit. You could do MMA, martial arts. You can do that. You could even simply just walk. You could eat less. Like, there's a lot of different alternatives. What you should do is explore this for your desire. And even with starting a business, there's many alternatives to starting pretty much the same business. Say, for example, your dream result is to be making a certain amount of money, right? There's many different ways to achieve that. There's no just one set way. Now, if you want to be extreme and you set like, okay, this is the only way I'm going to do this, by all means, go do that. But just explore the alternatives, because that will help you with your brainstorming. And if you're in I'd say, business that involves a lot of brainstorming, it's very helpful practice to do this. It helps you with your problem solving ability, which is amazing. Now, number 5, if you can't decide, don't do it. This one right here is something I've added to this because I think that a lot of the decisions you make, if you can't decide, like, when you're making a decision, you just can't decide. This is really difficult to implement. I've only implemented it like a few times, but it's definitely freed up a lot more of my time and energy towards making a decision. Say if you're deciding to go hang out with your friends. Now, I know people are like, yeah, you got to hang out with your friends and there should be no option. But like, if you can't decide and you're saying you're not sure, let me move the mic. If you're not sure if you want to hang out with somebody, right? Instead, you could just simply say, if you can't decide, you just don't do it at all. And it just frees up your headspace to just go on with your life, do what you want to do, and that's it. Next part, which is still number 5, it says, don't do it. If it's a tough decision, ask someone who is smarter or of higher leverage. So smarter and higher leverage basically mean the same thing, but Think of the smartest person you can think of. Like, this could be your mom, this could be your dad, this could be your brother, this could be your sister, this could be a distant uncle, this could be one of your friends, or simply you could ask ChatGPT, because I've asked ChatGPT a lot of questions. As much as people want to slang that app, it actually gives you very good answers, especially for some basic things. And then higher leverage just means, to me, somebody who's above you, in terms of like, this could be like a mentor or somebody who's like richer than you. Like, this could be a YouTuber and maybe they have like a video on the specific thing. So say if this is like your goal is to get the dream body, and then you said, if this is a tough decision about how to get into the gym and start doing this thing, you could ask somebody like, for me, it'll probably be like, okay, like an Alex Hermosi, and I'll just find a video on that specific thing, or an Alex Becker, or a Hamza, or a Mangachi. Like, I will find a video by them who have that kind of idea, and then I'll kind of work with that decision and play with it in my head. Then the sixth one, number 6, will really, really help you. I'm probably going to make a separate video on this as well, but what would my 80-year-old self say? This will really put you in a state of higher thinking, where it's like, okay, you think long term. Most people think, and you probably do this too, thinking like tomorrow, think in a week, you think in a month, you think in 6 months, you think in 12 months. Yet the only thing that really matters is what will happen in like a decade from now. Sure, it sucks, but the only thing that really matters is really just the long-term outcome. Like, in the long run, when it comes to like money and finances, you're gonna have to lose money before you actually like make the big thing. You know, you're not just gonna make 10 million like right off the start. Like, that's just, like I said, it's not to say that that won't happen, because some people win the lottery, some people start their business and they're just balling out. But most of the time, you're just gonna get small things. It's never just one lump sum, and that's over the long term. What would your 80-year-old self say? Really start doing this. And even then, it could just be like, you could just make yourself up like a character. Not even only what would your 80-year-old self say, you could just simply ask, what would like Warren Buffett say? What would Charlie Munger say? Think of like a person you are very influenced by in this space. It could even be like, what will Beyonce say? Like, it could be something as simple as that. Just try it out, and I guarantee you will start thinking a little bit better. Now, the hard part about this thing is just implementation, which I feel like I have to make a whole separate video about how to implement things as well. But let's go on to number 7. Now, write the decision. What decision are you making about this thing? So if we're sticking with our gym example, it would just be like, okay, I'm going to decide to try CrossFit, or I'm going to decide to try CrossFit. I'm going to try MMA. I'm going to try going to the gym, right? You say that's your decision, and you make a plan for that. So from that decision, you make a plan to test out all these things. So how does this relate to your desires? The main thing was number 2. Where did this thought or desire come from? Say if I'm sticking with this candy bar thing, and if I even if I run through this, like, you get so good at this, which I know you can get good at this, like, I know you will. If you really sit here and just look at this and memorize this framework, or even kind of take my framework, which I'm giving you in a template, and you kind of make it your own. You say, okay, just thinking about where did this thought come from, just thinking about where that thought came from, it will actually help you to make a good decision. So with the candy bar example, for example, the question and decision I was making was, when I left work that day, I wanted to go get a candy bar. If I would have just ran through it in my head that day, where did this thought or desire come from? I would have been like, oh, I watched a YouTube video and a guy was talking about how he had candy and he cheated on his thing and he messed up. So I was like, okay, in my head I was like, okay, I'm going to go do the same thing and I want to try this bar. It was literally because he said he went across town to go find a bar, or I think it was like a cake. He was eating a cake. And then I decided, okay, he was talking about he wanted a Kinder Bueno bar, and I was like, oh, I want to try that now. If I would have known that was the reason, which I probably did, I just didn't want to admit it to myself, that would have changed the whole 30, 45 minute skirmish with myself after the fact. And once again, I'm glad it happened, because now hopefully you get to learn from my lesson, and how now hopefully you can take this and add it to your life. Protect your desires. Do what you want with this video, and have a good week.